One of the things that I think you and I both agree on is you don't want to start a video right at the beginning of your research process. Like there's a idea that's kind of ingrained in school. It's like, okay, welcome to US history class. At the end of the semester, you're going to write a paper on the Civil War. So now is time to start researching. And then you know exactly what you're going to write. You research, research, research. But that's actually tremendously costly. What's better to do is the word that you used was ambient research. And you exist in this state where you're just interested in math. And through that process, you're researching a lot of things without even knowing it. And then one day, well, you find your hook and it all comes together. And now it's time to make the video. What is that process like for you?
It's exactly what we were talking about earlier, where that's why idleness and distraction are valuable. It's because those are like, in a sense, the ambient research phase. Um, so it looks like just reading books or being willing to get caught into a rabbit hole of an interesting question, um, and like not feeling guilty about part of the day washing away to that effect. And then just keeping notes and having a spot that I can turn to on those notes at some point. Um, it's like kind of as simple as that. And very often, if you were to actually track like where an idea came from for a video, like the seeds of it sit like years before the production process started.
What do those notes look like?
Oh, I mean, sometimes it's like literal like pad of paper and pencil just like scrapped at the side of the computer. Um, Sometimes it's just like a text editor document that's open while I'm reading something. It's probably not as organized as it should be. I've got like a long Asana list of like potential video topics, and like the detail section of each one will have a little scrapped like bullet point of important points. Yeah, it's honestly not terribly organized if I if I'm like open with you.
What percentage of your notes are drawings and visual versus text and more logical?
Honestly, actually, a lot more logical than like text. I think there's like isolated different. I'm just like calling through my notebook now. I guess drawings. I guess maybe like on the pen and paper, it's like 50% things that are like sketched and drawings, but then a lot like that's where you'll maybe like work something out. And so often if you like, let's say you want to find an intuitive explanation of something in math, often the first step is to like actually go through the non-intuitive explanation. Um, like the most recent thing that's sitting in front of me here is like trying to understand why like a binomial distribution tends to look like a Gaussian with large numbers, and just kind of like working out um, how Stirling's approximation on factorials like makes that pop out, and if there's an elegant way that it does. And in that case, I guess the central question in mind after doing that is to like look at the algebra and say, are there parts of this that felt like they must be true, um, in a way that could be like visual or could be better motivated or something like that. I don't think this particular page would ever like turn into a video, but that's yeah, that's I think kind of a valuable thing to do is to just like get into the nitty gritty of like working it out in like the boring algebraic way so that you can assess like does it have to be as boring as it seems.